Next up, we're going to New Zealand with Rua Gold. Please welcome Robert Eckford.
Thanks very much. Love it. Thanks very much, everyone, and great to be here. As introduced, we're a gold mining, gold explorer focused in New Zealand. And you probably wouldn't have seen many New Zealand projects come through here in the past. So I think that's always a really interesting place to start. I think really importantly is our focus is solely on New Zealand. There's a huge opportunity there, and objectively, of course, I think it's one of the best jurisdictions in the world right now. There's really high-grade gold there, and the team that we've assembled have all done this before. This is not our first rodeo. We've had track records of not just exploration, but building mines, putting them into production, selling them as a package for over $1 billion. So why New Zealand is open for business? The politics has changed. They had an election last November. Right now, they couldn't be more hungry for mining investment. You've got the Mines Minister, Shane Jones, going out to all the conferences around PDAC, around IMARC in Sydney. He's looking to say New Zealand is open for business. And some of the things they're doing to really show that is they've committed to doubling mining exports out of New Zealand in the next 10 years. They actually engaged us as corporates for feedback, and they said, how do we get more mining interests in New Zealand? Our young population are leaving. They're all going across the water to Australia. We're losing taxpayers. We've got economic recession. And so what they've done is they've incorporated some new legislation, which is passing through right now. And they're taking mining permits from what is usually around the world a 5 to 10 year process. They're doing a mine permit application in 6 months. It's the quickest way to get a mine permit in the world right now. And the first time it's starting is in January next year. And OceanaGold, one of the biggest mining companies in New Zealand, well, the biggest mining company in New Zealand, a $3 billion market cap company, they're going to be running that process first. So this is one of the best jurisdictions because it's the only place in the world the government want you there. They want you to invest. It's safe. It's good infrastructure. You're not going to have Mali problems with me getting arrested when I land. You're going to be actually wanted by the government, and they really are fast-tracking mining there. So a little bit on our projects. We've got 2 projects in Rua Gold. One in the North Island, which we won't talk about too much today because it's an earlier stage. It's the blue sky of the country. It's a property right next to OceanaGold, and it's a neurology story. Where we're really going to focus is on Reefton Goldfield. It's on the South Island. It's our advanced exploration asset. And it's got already 2 million ounces of historical production. And as we've heard today, you don't want a recycled asset. So when I talk about historical production, I'm talking about 1900 to 1950, when the old-timers came in and they did artisanal mining. They built a 4x4 timber shaft, and they followed these high-grade quartz veins. So they mined 2 million ounces at an average grade of around 25 grams a ton. That's 25 times the worldwide grade right now being produced. So really high-grade gold. And we've got the entire district wrapped up under our control. So we'll start there. We're moving to the South Island. Our land package, we've already done 6,000 meters of drilling, and we're a relatively new company. We just launched this in March. We came out of an RTO that was halted at 10 cents. We've done 6,000 meters of drilling. Our stock doubled up to 20 cents. We've acquired the entire district, and that transaction is going to be closing imminently. And we've really got a great land package to continue to explore. And it's not, for an exploration company, it's not, is there gold left in these hills? What we're really asking is, how much more gold is in these hills? And part of the reason we're so confident that there's a lot of gold there is because of our neighbor. So you'll see here, where's the screen, that we've got an entire district scale opportunity, but you've got this little L shape in the middle. and that's the last holdout neighbor that hasn't wanted to partner with us, and it's because they've just purchased that this year for $30 million US. So our entire market cap right now is $30 million US. They've purchased that one piece of land in the middle of us for the same amount, and the reason why is it's got 785,000 ounces already proven up at 24 grams a ton gold. And they've already raised 150 million US. They've got their mining permit. They're halfway through building it. So we've now, through early acquisition and through an aggressive M&A strategy, we've now enveloped the entire project. And obviously, there's a future where this all gets put together. And I don't know who the final acquirer is or who the final runner is. But from a shareholder perspective, what you want to see is a path to production. And this is a very clear path. When you've got exploration that you know there's gold in the ground, when you've got a mine that's being built next door, it's an easy 1 + 1 = 3 opportunity for shareholders. Looking at this area, and this picture is sorry about the small font, but what we're really trying to show here is that this is the historic production in the area. So in the 1950s, these guys came, they found these outcropping quartz veins. They went and built their shaft, and they went down X number of meters. But in those days, they didn't have the technology to go as deep as mines go today. So they went to 500 meters, 300 meters, and they had to stop. What we've done is we've acquired all of those historical areas, and we're going to follow exactly what our neighbors, Federation Mining, have done. And what they did is they went under their historic mine. That one went down 700 meters. And they've continued drilling all the way down, and they found mineralization at 1,500 meters. So they've proven the concept that these gold veins run extremely deep, that it's extremely high grade, and now we're at the step where we just need to do our own drilling and prove out that these veins also run deep on our properties. We've started that. As I said, we've started our drill program. 2 weeks ago, we put out drill results on Murray Creek, and I'll just pop back. So Murray Creek is the third one along. It's the shallowest. It went down 200 meters. So that's where we're starting. We've got a drill turning there today. We intercepted 34 grams a ton over 0.2 of a meter. And so I'm not going to lie to anyone here. 0.2 of a meter is a narrow vein, but that's very much expected in this type of this ore body. What happens is these veins, they pinch and they swell, and they pinch and they swell. And you have high-grade gold. And what we need to do now is work out structure. And so the way you do that is you pull back 50 meters to 100 meters, and you do a wedge, and you start wedging out and building out what that looks like. We've already seen from the next drill holes that are going to be coming out in early December that these veins do widen, and those results will be coming, as I said, they're off to the assay labs right now. First week of December, we'll have these daughter holes coming out to the market. So we're really excited about proving out the depth of these. The second drill rig we have turning is at Capelston. And these are much shallower. These are going down 30 meters where we're intercepting the gold. And we're seeing intercepts of 24 meters over a meter, 24 grams a ton over a meter. And a second one with 3.2 grams over a meter. So we're seeing variable grades, but very good, solid, continuous gold that we're hitting with every single drill hole. Again, we're at the very outset of this drill program, very early stage, and we're now funded for a full drill program through to June next year, with results coming continuously, the next ones at the start of December. In the North Island, just to wrap up on Reefton, so really, as a shareholder and a potential shareholder, what you're looking for how to make money is two ways here. You've got the potential M&A angle, which is very obvious, where you've got a mine that's about to go into production but needs scale. And then you've got exploration upside because we're fully funded and we're going to be drilling for the next 7 months we're funded for, and then we'll continue on after that. I'll just mention before we move on that this company was actually founded 5 years ago, and it was been public since March. But over that 5-year period, we raised $10 million privately, and we've done all the surface work, all the magnetics, the geophysics. We've done all the resistivity testing. We know exactly where we're drilling. This is not a quick rush to the market. We've done a huge amount of work before we put drills in the ground, and that's why we're so confident with our drill program right now. In the north, as I mentioned, north is an earlier stage opportunity, but really what we're looking at here is an epithermal section of New Zealand where all the volcanoes are, and this is really a neurology story. This is an asset that's right next door to one of OceanaGold's Wharekirauponga asset, WKP. They've currently proven up 1 million ounces at 16 grams a ton. And these are the guys that I've mentioned are in the fast track process. So first, WKP was discovered by our COO, Simon Henderson. So the geologist that's on the ground in New Zealand is the guy that discovered WKP. Secondly, OceanaGold in 2 weeks' time are going to bring out a PFS on WKP. They're ready to start building it. They're then thirdly in that fast track process. So that process kicks off in January for them. They could be constructing as early as July next year. And so we can ride the coattails. Again, we've got our own tangible asset there, but we can also, from a share price perspective, ride the coattails of OceanaGold's success, proving that you're getting mines permitted in New Zealand, proven that you can do it in 6 months, and proven that this district that we're in right now is really high grade and is absolutely huge elephant deposits. They've been running the Waihi mine, which is at the bottom of this picture. For over 30 years, that's been in operation, and you can see the entire town of Waihi is built around that mine. It's produced over 10 million ounces of gold and is still operating today. So as much as we think of New Zealand as the rolling hills and the land, Lord of the Rings and hobbits and things like that, really it's also pockets of mining districts and really rich mining towns. What we're seeing at the at the Glamorgan asset, which is our asset there, is exactly the same as the surface features that Simon found at WKP. We're seeing 95 gram a ton rock samples on surface. We're seeing an alteration zone of over 3.8 kilometers, and the team that are putting this into action is the same team that found WKP. So this is a huge blue sky opportunity, but for us, it's a 2025 drill program. We're in permitting phase right now. We've got minimum impact access, which means we're doing all the soil sampling, we're doing the mapping, we're doing all the foundational work that you need to do before you start drilling. And then we're going to be drilling in 2025. So this is an exciting prospect, but it's earlier stage. Again, we've covered some of this, but the most exciting part is for WKP to be the first tester of this fast track process. I always say in mining, you don't want to be first mover, you want to be a fast follower. So it's nice to have someone else testing this new fast track legislation before us. We can learn from what they do, and we can look to follow them in the future. Importantly, touching on the team, this is not our first time here, as I mentioned. Our team has raised over $2 billion of capital. We've built 8 mines, and then we've exited for over $11 billion, all separately, sometimes together. This group, Oliver Lennox-King is our chairman. He was most recently founded Rox Gold, which he sold to Fortuna Mining in 2021 for $1.3 billion. Myself, I founded Aris Mining with a colleague, Neil Woodger, in 2020. I was the CFO, he was the CEO. Aris Mining is now the largest gold producer in Colombia, close to $1 billion market cap company. I recognize my own flaws. I'm not good in a $1 billion company. I'm far too entrepreneurial, and I don't like having to do SOX compliance and IT infrastructure things. And so I left Aris. I took an 80% pay cut to join Rua because I see the equity upside. I'm not doing it out of my own goodwill, but I see the potential for this asset to really grow into something huge. The cap structure, and again, talking about the management team, we're really large inside owners of this company. Our average price of purchase is 14 cents. So no one here in this management and insiders team has 1 cent stock. That's not our style. We're aligned with shareholders. We participate in every single financing, and we're building it from the ground floor today. So the current stock is currently trading anywhere between 16 and 20 cents. Our average buy price is 14 cents. We did a raise in July for $8 million at 18 cents without any warrants. very rare that you get a sub 50 million market cap company that can raise without warrants. So again, it speaks to the assets, it speaks to the management team, and we're excited to be bringing this to you guys and to be building this from the ground up.
Yeah, thanks, Robert.
9 seconds left.
We got time for one question. I'm personally not too familiar with New Zealand, and I think I'm not alone. Like, do you have to deal with any local communities?
Yeah, we have a strong Maori engagement there. Again, the Maoris are very practical. They really want regional jobs. There's a huge Maori population that go to Australia to work in the mines. They'd rather have everyone stay in New Zealand, and so they're very supportive of this project. There's no strict legislation or laws around native title agreements like you see in Canada and in other places, but I'm extremely interested in some sort of profit-sharing arrangement, some sort of community give-back arrangement, because I just think that's good stewardship.
Okay. Any questions from the audience? Pete.
Why are you not listed in Australia? Why did you choose venture?
Yeah, that's a question I get quite often, actually, and it speaks to the management at this stage. We've made a lot of money for a lot of North American investors in the past, and so when we went to raise money, we have a lot of contacts in North America, and that's where we've done a lot of business previously. So that was where we started our discussions. I was in Australia in October and in May this year. There's a huge amount of interest there, and I think there will be a path to an ASX listing. At our size right now, the overheads don't support it. I think it's a bit of a waste of shareholder money to put that in. When it's worthwhile going to Australia is when you're 150 million market cap plus, because that's when the pension funds and the indexing all starts, and that's when you get forced buying when you move in there. So it's definitely on our path. We definitely have good banking relationships there, and that's our growth perspective.
Okay, thanks, Robert. If anybody has any questions, I'm sure.
So,
oh, yeah, Raymond, last question.
One question, what is the average all-in sustaining cost of those kind of mining?
That's actually a really good question. So when I talked about our neighbor that's right in the middle of our land package, they just brought out a PFS this year. And so we can very much piggyback on that because it's the exact same mineralization. Their all-in sustaining cost is $1,000 US an ounce. So there's a saying in mining, grade is king. When you have these grades, you have amazing margins. And that's exactly why we're here. I'm an accountant. I like high margin projects. And in Aris Mining, it was the same story. It was a really high grade project that was always really high margins.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, guys.